All right. Last week, we made a beat with nothing but free apps. This week, let's mix it. Let's go. BeatMaker's the squad. What's good is she's the producer. So before we get into this, I just want to do my shameless plugs. All right. So first thing I want to plug, obviously, t-shirts. Got t-shirts available. BeatMaker's the squad t-shirts available on beatmakersthesquad.com. Also sticker packs, sample packs, sound packs, and more iOS music production related content is available on beatmakersthesquad.com. Also, I want to give a couple shout outs. First shout out I want to give is to wesampleeverything.com. I've been working with them for about the last month or so. I think a little bit more than that. But anyway, there's a soon to be released iOS music production podcast that will be coming your way. Some more details on that are coming soon. Big shouts to Misled, aka at chickonthebeat on Instagram, Cypha Omni at Cypha Omni on Instagram, and at J1Star Beatz on Instagram. So check all those people out. I'll put a link in the description for all of them. And what else? So yeah, that's it, right? That's it. I'm talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. Anyhow, let's get to this. So last week I made a beat with all free apps. So this week I was like, let's just mix that beat. And I was like, it seems pretty boring. So I thought, why not just make another beat and then show how it was mixed afterwards and discuss the different apps that used to make it. And I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. As you can see, I talk to myself a lot. Anyhow, this beat is today, all the apps I'll be using are free. The only one app I'm using that's not free is AudioShare, because that's where I store my samples. And this week what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to import a sample from a sample pack that I made that's available on beatmakersthesquad.com. And I'm going to import a sample into GarageBand. I'm also going to import some drums from, another shout out to the homie DragonFly Bry. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube as well as his Instagram in the description. Very cool dude. I like to think of him as a future man, because this dude makes beats on MPCs, iPads, OP1s, OPZs, like whatever. He plays guitar, plays bass. He's just an all-around musical dude, so y'all should check him out. Anyhow, so I'm gonna use some drums from his drum pack, which is really, really good. Basically what he did was he took drums and ran them through this SSL board that he has, and they are just like pretty much like the cleanest drums that you will ever need. It's like a really good drum pack, so you should definitely check that out. So let's just make this beat. So what I'm doing here is simply listening to some of the samples in order to find one that I'd like to use for today's video. The sample pack is available on beatmakersthesquad.com, as I've stated before. Now that I've found the sample, I'm going to use the share option in AudioShare. In this menu, I'll use the save to files option. In this menu, I'm going to click on my iPad. Then I'll scroll to GarageBand. Then I'll save the sample in the GarageBand file transfer folder. Once I'm in GarageBand, I'm going to open an audio track. Once the audio track is open, I'll press the wrench icon so I can change the tempo. Then I'm going to press the loops icon so I can drag the loop in onto that track. I'd like to add a stutter effect to this sample, so what I'm going to do is trim off the last half beat. Then I'll go up to the beginning of the sample and cut the first half beat off of that. What I'll do now is copy that bit and then paste it twice to the end of the sample. Now that this is all done, we're ready to make this beat. Now what we're doing is we're gonna go through this track that I just made, and obviously I took a little time and I sequenced it. I added a couple extra things that maybe I didn't record while I was playing. First off, the apps that I use to make the beat that are free include the Noise app. Use that for the lead melody on the hook, and the Viking synth. Now the Viking synth, it may or may not be free. When I got it, it was free. I've seen the price go from free to like $2 or $3, back to free to $2 or $3, back to free. I got this for free. Last time I checked online, it was still free. So yeah. So let's just take a look track by track at the effects that I use. First things first, on every track, what I've done is, just like I did last week, I went to the visual EQ and I turned all of them down to -10, and I put the drums at about -6. So for the sample, I didn't put anything on it because, I mean, it's a sample where I don't really want to do much to it. I just did a little EQ into it. Then under that, we had the kick drum. Now on the kick drum, what I have is a Fuzz Plus 3. This is like literally hands down one of my favorite free apps. It's an overdrive plugin, dope. It's really great on drums. It helps like add extra punch to them. If you add it on stuff like sparingly, it works well. It really makes the drums punch. So after that, there is the snare, and on the snare, I do believe I have, I got another Fuzz Plus 3. Like I said, it makes your drums stand out, and it's free. So then we have the hi-hat, and on the hi-hat, I didn't put any extra plugins on that. Then there's the side stick, the rim shot. I didn't put any extra plugins on that. The noise, I could have put a Fuzz Plus 3 on this, but I decided instead to use the overdrive that's within GarageBand because I like the way it sounded on it when I put it on it. I have 2 instances of the Viking synth, and it's basically just doubling the bass. I have one bass that kind of has a bit of higher frequencies, and the other one that's just kind of like sub bass to give the bass a little more body. As far as plugins, what I use here was I use this stereo lag plugin. What this does is it delays one side of the channel to give it more of a stereo feel. So I like to do that with the bass, so it kind of brings the bass like in the left and right and lets the kick go down the middle so they don't get in each other's way. This is completely free as well. What else do I have on there? I have a chorus that is from GarageBand, also free. Now within GarageBand, there are also a lot of these plugins and EQs that they don't really fit into the sexy looking ones, but they're very functional. And this is just a low shelf filter. And basically what I did here was I bumped the low shelf up on the bass at 100 hertz, up about 4 decibels. And then what I did after that is I used a visual EQ, and at 100 hertz, I dropped the bass about 3.5 decibels. And that is like the low end. It's basically emulates like a Pultec EQ. If you're not familiar with that, you should definitely look it up, because it's something that can really help your bass and your kicks stand out a lot. All right. I believe I also did that on the kick as well. Yeah, on the kick I did that as well. So as you can see, there's a fuzz plus, then there's a low shelf filter. But on a low shelf filter here, I did it at 75 hertz, bumped it up 4 decibels, and then on the visual EQ, 75 hertz, dropped it down about 3.5. Okay, and then after that we have the second the second Viking synth. Now on this one I turned the stereo lag and the chorus off, because this bass I didn't really want it. I just wanted you to kind of feel this bass as opposed to hearing it, and plus like the stereo lag kind of takes the bass down a little bit as well as the chorus. So I wanted this one to be a little just a little more present. And what I did here was I used the I didn't do anything with this one here, so maybe I'll change that a little later. I don't know. I'll listen to it later and figure it out. And then we have it's like the arpeggiator. I didn't put anything on here except for the visual EQ. I didn't even change it because I just like the way it sounds. A lot of these sounds in GarageBand are really good right off the bat, and you really don't have to do much to them. Then there's a riser. I didn't do anything with that except drop the level. Oh, and then I took a little bass off and added a little bit of treble. And then finally is my chant. And the chant here, I just cut some bass out of it. And this chant, if you're wondering where I got this from, I went to Denver recently. And while I was in Denver, I went to a basketball game. And the crowd was crazy, and while I was in the game, I opened up Audio Share, and I was like, I'm gonna record the crowd. Don't know what I'm gonna use it for, but I'm gonna use it for something. And I can't lie, ever since I've been back from Denver, it's been a few months. This has been on like several of my tracks, because it's a really good chant, and no one else has it but me. Anyway, that's how I mixed the track. Obviously after that I did some leveling and stuff like that to make sure things weren't too loud, things weren't too low, and that was pretty much it. And so I hope that after watching this video, you've seen that you can not only make music with free apps, you can also mix your music with free apps. Anyhow, it's your boy Cheese, signing off for BeatMakers the Squad. Definitely check out those people that I told you to check out. Hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know if you know of any other free apps that you use to either mix or make music with. And also, if you have any suggestions for videos, definitely hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram at BeatMakerIsTheSquad. Send me a direct message if you have a suggestion for a video, if you would like, something covered here. If I don't have the app, I probably can't do the video. But don't let that stop you from hollering at me, because I always get back to people. I'm not like super quick about it, like, because I have other things to do. But definitely holler at me and I'll get back to you. It's your boy Cheese, and I'm signing off with BeatMakers the Squad. Peace.